It's the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion. This is for Thursday, the 15th of August. I'm Michael Groff. The old monsoon continues with generally dry conditions. Temperatures to remain above seasonal averages for a while. Chances of storms, not too many to be found, mainly over far eastern and southeast Arizona over the next several days. Maybe a bump in storm activity at some point this weekend or early next week, but that remains to be seen. Let's talk about it. First, the almanac from yesterday, 110 degrees, the afternoon high. Just another day with a high of 110 plus. I believe that's 47 in the book for the year now. And we are closing in on that all-time record, which, of course, we've broken 2 of the last 4 years. Of course, that morning low, 91, 105, and 84, the averages for this time of year. Outside now, just after 11. Sunny sky, 102 at Sky Harbor, dew point 52, 19% the humidity, a light wind, the barometer falling. What's going on with that upper air weather pattern? Why do we not have a monsoon flow in here? Well, it's because of this. We've got troughing over the Pacific Northwest. We've got a ridge that's basically elongated and just sitting on top of us. The flow aloft is actually more west-southwesterly than anything. And, of course, you see on the water vapor view the darker shades right over us. That's just very dry air, and all that monsoon moisture, it's suppressed down into Mexico and points to the east, mainly across Texas and northern Mexico. So as long as that's in place, we're not going to see any moisture coming in around here anytime soon. The watch warning map got red flag warnings to the north of us over parts of the Pacific Northwest. Fire danger remains elevated there. Heat advisories and excessive heat warnings for parts of the southern plains and into the southeast U.S. In Maricopa County, that's an air quality alert issued by the Arizona Department of Environmental Quality for elevated ozone levels. So those of you that suffer, the respiratory sufferers out there, those of you sensitive to that sort of thing, well, I would suggest you avoid outdoor activities, particularly during the afternoon and early evening hours. All right, convective outlook. We've got the risk of severe storms and across the plain states. That standard slight risk to include places like St. Louis up toward Chicago, Springfield, Illinois. Marginal risk for the adjacent states, also north of Arizona over parts of Idaho and Montana, as well as parts of New England in that marginal risk. The tropics in the Atlantic Basin, things are fairly quiet except for Hurricane Ernesto. That's a Category 1 storm. And about the only area that looks to impact, at least immediately, is Bermuda. We're going to watch for that tomorrow, maybe into Saturday. And other than that, could be an issue for the Canadian Maritimes, but for the United States, this will not have any sort of direct impact. Precipitation outlook valid through Thursday morning of next week. Rain amounts in Phoenix, nothing or virtually nothing. Statewide, generally under 1.5 inch for the most part. Maybe a few spots see a bit more than that. Of course, your amount could vary, but we just don't see any signs of a big widespread monsoon event anytime soon. It just looks like things are going to remain relatively dry. We'll talk about what's going on with this weather pattern in more detail. To do that, we explore the models, see what the future may hold. Here we go, the GFS, the 12Z run, valid 5 o'clock this afternoon, troughing to the north of us. Suppressed ridging here across the southwest. Now, when I say a suppressed ridge, still fairly strong. Upper heights, 594 decameters plus. So what it means down at the surface for the rest of the afternoon today, sunny sky and kind of toasty. High temperatures, 107 to 111. Any precipitation will be well to the south and east of us or far to the north of us. Yeah, there might be an isolated storm over the southeastern corner of the state today, but even at that, I don't expect much. And then tonight, clear sky, relatively dry air, lows in the 80s. Tomorrow, sunny and more of the same, 107 to 111. Let's go to the weekend. Yeah, the GFS on Saturday does show the ridge trying to surge back to the north-northeast and setting up over West Texas and New Mexico, while troughing is present over the Pacific Northwest, the flow aloft more southerly. And so a good surge of moisture may come in, at least if we take this run of the GFS at face value. It actually shows scattered showers and thunderstorms across central and eastern Arizona Saturday afternoon. But I am not convinced. I think we'll just have way too much convective inhibition with this ridge amplifying a bit, and southerly flow just doesn't favor any storms getting into the lower deserts. Could there be an isolated storm someplace? Maybe. And I think storm coverage will be a little bit better on Saturday, but for the most part, we've just kept the rain chances out of the picture here. Partly cloudy sky, high temperatures will top out somewhere between about 108 to 112. Just a toasty day, just one of those days it's good to be by the pool or good to be indoors. Sunday, widely scattered showers and storms across northern Arizona, maybe the southeastern part of the state. I just don't think there's a scenario where we get storms here into the lower deserts. The chance of rain is not mathematically zero, but it's pretty close. And so at this point, again, this could change, but at this point, we're going to keep the forecast dry and have high temperatures still a couple of degrees either side of 110. Going into next week, not much is going to change, kind of an amplified pattern. We've got ridging that sits to the east of us. The upper heights somewhere between about 595 to 598 decameters. And then this trough that sits to the north and west of us. So you've got unusually strong troughing to the north and west, this ridge to the east of us, and Arizona in between, and the flow is more or less southerly to southwesterly, and that's just not great. That's not a good monsoon flow for us. That's going to bring in more dry air, generally speaking. Now, again, the exception, parts of east, central, and southeast Arizona could see a few showers and thunderstorms, but even at that, it's not going to be widespread. It's essentially the same forecast on Tuesday, even though the GFS really wants to start to bring moisture back to the west. And this run does show a more favorable ridging structure, with the ridge building slightly further to the north and expanding a bit further west. And the trough is slightly weaker to the north and west of us and more of a southeasterly flow to bring moisture back in here. And it shows that on Wednesday, too. It actually has scattered showers and thunderstorms in the forecast here. But I caution you that this is not, this is kind of more of an outlier than it is in line with our ensemble guidance. And so at this point, probably the best course of action is to keep the forecast dry. Now, we'll watch this model trend here into the middle part of next week. There is still possibly a day where we could see a moisture surge in here for better chances of showers and storms. It's just at this point, it's kind of hard to pin that down. High temperatures are going to remain at or above average given the strength of this ridge, so highs will still be anywhere from 107 to 112 on just about any given day. Let's go to a week from today. This is Thursday, the 22nd, and now the GFS re-strengthens this low, this upper trough off of the Pacific Northwest coast. It also has a strong ridge to the east of us. Pretty much centered over the Texas Panhandle of 597 ridge. We're, kind of, again, right between that south-southwest flow. It's got a tropical system off of the, well off of the Mexican coast. And in this setup, that probably wouldn't be a factor, that tropical cyclone. So looks like we'd be dry or relatively dry and temperatures to remain above average, around 110. But now 10 days. This is Saturday, the 24th. Not much changes. The trough weakens a bit. The ridge, though, is sitting right on top of us. It's a 597 ridge, so we would be sizzling hot. Highs 110 to 115, and very little, if any, chance of seeing showers or thunderstorms. So the bottom line is below climatological chances of rain, above climatological temperatures. That's going to be the story probably for the next 10 days. With an exception or two here and there, but basically that's how the forecast looks right now. All right, looking at rainfall for Phoenix off the GFS ensemble. This goes out through the 29th of the month. The mean, about half an inch. Control member's a bit higher than that. European ensemble, the mean is under a tenth of an inch for rainfall here in Phoenix over the next 2 weeks. And given what's been going on this summer, that's probably the more realistic outcome. That's just the way this summer has gone. It has been another non-soon monsoon. And this, while right now, right this second, we are, of course, not declaring this over or anything like that, but this is about the second or third driest monsoon on record should we not get another drop of rain. So it's not looking great. That's the bottom line. And we really could use the rain. All right, temperatures off the national blended models. Again, like I mentioned, above average for at least the next 10 days. No sign of any big changes in this, and it is looking very likely, and this has been a discussion we've had in the comments section and on email and all of this, it is looking very likely that we are going to continue our consecutive streak of high temperatures at or above 100 degrees, and we very well may go the entirety of meteorological summer. That's June, July, and August, with every day having a high of 100 degrees plus. That has never happened in the history of Phoenix, Arizona, in the recorded history here. I know that's hard to believe, but back through the archives, it has not happened that every single day in June, July, and August has had a high temperature at or above 100. Even last year, in the month of August, I believe we had 2 or 3 days where we did not hit the century mark. So, kind of interesting to see that how this is playing out. And of course, that just adds to the idea that this will go down as the hottest summer on record here in Phoenix. In fact, that's pretty much a mathematical certainty at this point. That, my friends, is going to do it for the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion for today. My next video is due back here tomorrow morning. Should you happen to enjoy these videos, then be sure to subscribe, like, share, click that notification bell, leave those comments, questions, and suggestions. If you really like what we do here, then click that thanks icon below the video here on YouTube, make those monetary contributions, or donate directly to us via PayPal. Groffshow@gmail.com is the PayPal address. It's GROFFshow@gmail.com for PayPal. The executive producer of the Phoenix, Arizona weather discussion is my one and only, the sweetest of all time, the Asian sensation and proprietor of SweetChildAZ.com.org and the Facebook page of the same name, Sweet Child Arizona, talking about my Michelle. Check her out. Check out everything Michelle related, linked up in the description down below. And of course, as always, I encourage you to check out our streaming station. It's called KMGX. We play a ton of music, have a lot of fun with that. Give that a listen, again, linked up in the description. All right, guys, thank you so much for watching. All of your continued support, so greatly appreciated. I'm so sorry we can't bring you better news about rainfall, but it is what it is. All right, be safe, stay cool, stay hydrated out there, and you guys have yourselves a glorious rest of your Thursday.